So my name is Karen Jones and I'm a renal social worker at Wrexham Myler Hospital, but cover the satellite unit in Mould. We work with people pre-dialysis, on treatment, transplanted, family members, so we work with an array, everybody who's involved from a family perspective with the person who dialyses. Within Wales, there's 6 specialist renal social workers, so we're kind of few and far between, and we support the whole renal population. We'll work with people to ensure their kind of mental and physical well-being is as strong as it can be. We work with carers, we support people with their mental health, their emotional, psychological issues, and also very kind of practical issues, because that's what social work is about. It's about anything that's going on for anybody in their life, their social life. So that can be housing, employment, kind of legal issues, activities of daily living, you know, like somebody who's struggling to get around the house and needs physio, OT or district nurses. So we act as kind of an assessor and a link to other services, if you like, in the community. We do a lot of benefit work, making sure people's kind of income is maximised, because living with a chronic illness means people have to kind of spend a lot of money on travel, on appointments, on lots of kind of heat in the house, you know, kind of it brings with it extra complications, if you like. And what we're trying to gather is what is important to that person that we're working with. Then we will try and problem solve from there with them. Very often it will begin with a financial issue. So whether there's a benefit, you know, people need to claim a benefit, so the referral will come initially for that. But then a minefield opens and you find that you're kind of supporting people with very, very many different things. I've known Lucy for over 20 years. She's been on peritoneal dialysis, she's been on hemodialysis, she's had a transplant, she's had the complications of transplantation where she's had a cancer illness, and she's such a strong person. But inevitably, when treatment fails, then people naturally are kind of quite ill, a lot of complications. On the dips along the journey, then we'll always we'll connect and reconnect, and you know that's a good enough source of support for her.
My name is Lucy Bevan. I've been on home hemodialysis for 7 years. Predominantly during that time, I've been a home hemodialysis patient. I'm having to dialyse in unit because of access issues at the moment, but I'm soon to be returning home. I'm in the hopefully just a few weeks or maybe a month or so away now. So when my CKD started, which probably would have been back in 2005 maybe, and then I was on peritoneal dialysis for a few years, and then in 2007 I had a kidney and pancreas transplant. That then lasted me for 7 years. The kidney stayed healthy for 7 years. Then I had a few other health complications, and unfortunately, because I contracted an infection in the pancreas, I lost the kidney as well. So I ended up back on home hemo from 2014. But since I've been on home hemo, I've been able to apply for positions within the organisation I work for on a full-time basis. And it was a job that I really wanted to do. So without home hemo, I wouldn't have been able to do that. From dialysing in units to being able to dialyse at home and fit that around my work schedule has just been life-changing for me. Firstly, I think I first kind of came across Karen. Obviously, I was introduced to her when I started on hemodialysis again in 2014 and was in the unit. But I think most recently has been during the time when I was told I'd have to stop dialysing at home just for a short period and return to the unit. I'm so passionate about dialysing at home that for me just didn't feel like it was an option. So with Karen's help, she's been amazing. She's been so supportive in helping me liaise with the doctors, trying to sort of come to terms with my own, you know, state of mind about things, because I was having a really difficult time with adjusting back to being in unit, to be honest. Back in 2017, I had a really tricky time. I'd been diagnosed with cancer. My mum was going through cancer treatments at the same time, and then I lost my mum. So while I was having cancer treatment, the chemotherapy, I was needing to dialyse in unit again then, just, you know, because of infection risk, to keep me safe. And that again was a really difficult time, but Karen was on hand. She would come and talk to me, you know, make appointments with me when I was outside of treatment, but also popped down to see me when I was on the machine, just to check that things were going okay and, you know, how are you today, which makes all the difference when you're going through that sort of stuff. So yeah, the service that you get or the support you get is tailored according to what you need. And I've always found, in particular with Karen, she's fully aware that the job that I do means that I'm fairly clued up about, you know, sort of the benefit system, because I advise other people about that. So she's fully aware of that. So I think the support that she's given me is more on the emotional side at times when I found things difficult. And she knows how I operate as a person, that my sort of go-to approach is just to try and crack on no matter what else is going on. And sometimes she's there as kind of a gentle reminder to say, just need to just slow down, just think about this. And I, as a person, need that. And it's really valuable, because I think sometimes your family only say things that they think you want to hear. Whereas, yeah, the social workers will look at it more objectively. I can't recommend home hemodialysis highly enough, if I'm honest. It just gives you your life back to some extent. And don't get me wrong, you know, there's a lot of responsibility that goes along with it. But like I said before, the benefits that you get from that, just being able to spend more time in your home environment, around your family. If you've got children, you know, or younger kids, you can spend more time with them. It's not as prescriptive. So you're not at the moment, you know, if you're in a dialysis slot at the hospital, you have to be there at a certain time. And, you know, that plays havoc with social life, working life, anything like that.
Home hemo is, again, thinking of Lucy, it's the freedom it brings. You know, people are enabled to work, get on with their lives. They're not restricted to the set times that the hospital offers. It gives people a lot more freedom and control. The impact it has on a person's body as well. You're dialysing more regular. With people on home hemo, it feels as if they will contact us rather than us having to kind of check in more regularly, in which case that would tell you they're more independent. They have more ownership of their life in a way, whereas people who come in are a lot more restricted, because they have to fit into a slotted time, don't they? And I think this is something we're working on in Wrexham now. We've had a refurbishment downstairs, and there's now a shared care unit, which is amazing, because it gives people the opportunity, those who are starting dialysis, to come in and from the very start take some kind of ownership for their treatment. And then the hope is that they will kind of work themselves towards home hemodialysis. If anybody wanted to get in touch with us, I would say don't hesitate, because we're here to kind of support all renal patients and families. And we're really approachable, so don't suffer in silence. There's information and support out there.